Welcome in, everyone, to the Lucky Bets podcast. Here with Dylan Corbett again. Good to have you, Dylan.
Yes, thanks. And off a profitable week, 3-1. So 2 out of the 3 weeks profitable. You had that blunder in the second week there, but feeling good. Yeah, we hit the Rams easily on Thursday night. Geno Smith and a Russell Wilson injury kind of helped us there. Saints were the lock of the week against the Washington football team, getting that done on a short number. Let's see. The one we lost was crazy too, because the news with John Gruden comes out, and in hindsight, he already lost the locker room. Like, Bears money line should have 100% been the play. So that was the only blunder. So we'll take it. The Cardinals were the other one there. So a little 3-1 week, looking to keep it going.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that. All of last week, I was saying the Bills are going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Get into that game, they go into halftime up. I think it was 2 touchdowns, or it may have been like 11 points, something like that. I was like, hey, this could be a thing.
Yeah, and
by 18. So, I didn't make any bets on it, but
that would have been the play, is Bills money line for sure. I know a couple of people that cashed that. I've lost so much money on the Chiefs this year. I just keep getting fooled by them. We might do it again. But yeah, the Bills are for real. That was a nice call by you, and it wasn't even a game. Josh Allen made the Chiefs defense look what they really are, which is bottom of the league.
Yeah, and it makes the Chiefs going forward more of a question mark.
Totally.
Like this week against the Eagles, I don't know if you have that, but that's a game that's tough for me to think about. So without further ado, let's hop into the spread. So what are some picks against the spread that you would like to choose?
Let's go with one of the top teams in the NFL. That's the LA Chargers. +3. They're a dog at Baltimore. Did you see what the Colts just did in Baltimore on Monday? My survivor pool thanks the Ravens in the coin toss, because there was some crazy survivor pool stuff with the Texans leading early. You had Green Bay on the ropes. A lot of crazy stuff. And then the Ravens do eventually come and win. But, I mean, look what the Chargers just did to the Browns. That was a crazy game. And I just think the Ravens are, probably pretty even to the Chargers, but I would give the slight edge. I trust Herbert as my quarterback a little bit more than Lamar Jackson sometimes. That's crazy that I'm saying that, but let's go with the Chargers there, +3 in Baltimore, which Carson Wentz wasn't too afraid of just on Monday in primetime.
Yeah, let's talk about Carson Wentz for a second. Holy shit.
Yes.
He looked like a pro football quarterback for the first time in a long time that I've watched him play. So if Baltimore can make Carson Wentz look good,
right.
Imagine what Justin Herbert's going to do when he's actually a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Fantasy-wise.
What he did to the Browns, too. Like a top defense, putting up a 40-burger on them. Crazy.
Fantasy-wise, I made the move to get rid of Kyler so I could have Justin Herbert. Now I have Herbert across every single league I'm in.
Yes.
I'm all in on Herbert.
Yeah.
The guy's an animal, man.
I think the NFL's with you in that thinking. I think a lot of people took a flyer on him for MVP, which has been crazy, but he's got to be up there. It's a crowded race, and it's always early, but
imagine if he just keeps doing this all year, and somebody who did bet on him to be MVP, those odds had to be pretty far. So
I think I saw 20-1, 14-1. Those are kind of the great ones you can get with those futures picks. So I like the Chargers here. All right, I alluded to it. Let's lose some money on them. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're at Washington, the football team. Again, they're only cover the Washington football team against my Atlanta Falcons, which goes to show you, Chiefs, for what it's worth, they only have one cover as well. They're 1-4, but it was 2 weeks ago in Philadelphia, and they basically blew them out. So that's why I'm not scared about this. Washington's not a daunting place. That offense plays. I think it's going to be high scoring because the defense is not good. Heineke, as we've said week over week, can put up points. He's got the weapons. But I think the Chiefs get the bounce back. I'm taking the 6.5 here. Again, let's see if we lose again somehow with the Chiefs. But this is the game you get back. You look right, and you kind of reassert yourself as still this contender.
Yeah, this is a game that it was honestly like I kind of wanted to take the underdog on this. I wanted to take Washington.
You like
But
Heineke. Yeah.
the only problem is if you look at both offenses, which one's better? Because both these defenses are horrendous. Both these offenses are gonna score points. So which offense is better? I had to go with the Chiefs.
Right.
But who knows? I've got a sneaky suspicion that Washington may pull out some crazy stuff this week.
Yeah. I mean, the NFL is a crazy place, right? No one really saw the Colts coming, and then luckily they cover, right? They could have won that outright. But I was kind of thinking, like, is this the week Urban Meyer amidst all the controversy? This would be totally NFL where he comes out and just smacks the Titans? Nope, didn't happen. But there are like the Jets coming out and beating the Titans. There are certainly spots like that where it's totally just leaves your mouth agape, like what just happened.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any more spreads?
Yeah. So this is going to be my underdog of the week because I think it's going to be a winner. I think I was mostly on favorites last week, so I didn't have one. But this one, again, the Chargers, I like +3. I mean, we'll play the number there. We're going to do both here to Arizona. Why not stay undefeated? They're going into Cleveland. I know that's a tough place to play. The spread's officially +2.5, but I like them to win that outright as well. At Cleveland, partially torn labrum for Baker. Didn't look it right against the Chargers, but
besties looked.
Besties looked. There's still something since OBJ has returned. The Browns, it's an anomaly. When he's on the field, Baker feels like he has to force throws to him. He still doesn't put up fantasy numbers. These two are not on the same page. I think they're a worse team with OBJ on the field, if you could say that.
100%.
Yeah, I like the Cardinals. Let's see if they can stay undefeated. I put them in that top echelon, top 5 handful teams in the NFL. Browns are a little bit lesser tier and kind of that top 10.
100%. And when I saw that Arizona was the dog in this game,
right,
I was very confused. I was like, did we not watch the Chargers beat the Browns? Have we not watched them all year? Barely beat Minnesota. I mean, Arizona's arguably the best team that they've played, or going to be the best team they play. And they just, I don't like it at all.
But you bring up
like
a good point that is exclusive in sports betting to the NFL. And that is that home teams generally, on average, get 3 points in the NFL. So that's, again, a lot of credit to the dog pound here. Vegas is basically telling you, hey, these two teams are even. We give the edge to Cleveland at home. And I'm saying you're wrong on this. So
exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you there.
I've got 2 more spreads for you, and then we can move into some totals, which we haven't done, but I like how we're going there. So just 2 left here on the spreads. We'll have 5 total plays. This one stinks, and it's just you hold your nose and you play it. The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL that have covered every single game. They're good. I think I just inserted them into that top 5. They've got the defense. They've got the offense with Dak now, weapons, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, Schultz, Zeke. I mean, that's a good team in a bad division. But it's New England, and it's in Foxborough, and it's Belichick. Now, New England nearly loses to Houston, right? But they miraculously come back and win. Mac Jones looks like not great, but the best out of the rookie bunch because his completion percentage is so high. Now that's the Belichick offense is, dump it down to everyone. But he's looked solid. Playing the number here, +3.5, because look what the Patriots did. They kept it tight at home against Brady. That was their lone cover at home, but that's because they were a dog. So they're technically 1-0 undefeated as a home underdog. It was weird. Remember that early week game? They were favored against the Saints and they just got blown out. The other one was they were favored against the Dolphins and they eventually lost, but that was back when they had Tua. So I like New England as the 3.5 point dog here. We'll play the number, see if they lose by a field goal. Maybe they surprise people. That Dallas cover streak's got to run out eventually.
Yeah, I also got a suspicion that Dallas is just good, and it hurts me to say because you don't want to hear all these Dallas fans all the time, but no. I think they are. I think they're good, and we'll just have to see. The way New England played Tampa Bay, really, really good. So, yeah, 3.5.
Told
That's
you, you just hold your nose. You just hold your nose and play it there. That's kind of like a trend play. That's where you look and on paper, you eliminate the number. You go, okay, obviously Cowboys better team. But
yeah,
then you kind of think about, wait a second, think about how many close scores are in the NFL. Can you get within that field goal? Does it go to OT? Is it decided by a field goal? A lot of betting forces that come into play too. But again, we shall see. Last one for you here. Let's play Buffalo. I don't know what to do with this Titans team. Buffalo -5.5 at Tennessee. They went into Arrowhead, made that place look like a church choir. I think Buffalo is going to steam into Nashville and just show. I believe, this is the Monday night game. I mean, they're the best team in the NFL. I think I could confidently say that. I was theorizing. I know this is probably the chalk played right now, but Bucks, Bills, Super Bowl, I think would be awesome if that happens. I just think the way the Bills are going, no one's going to go into Buffalo because they'll have home field advantage and take them out, I think, after they were just in the AFC title last year. But Bills in a rout at Tennessee Monday night.
100%. When I was talking about this game on Wednesday, I was trying to think of what I could say about the Titans. And all I could come up with is Derrick Henry. That team, if they're going to score, it's going to be Derrick Henry. If they're going to do anything, it's going to be Derrick Henry. So can Derrick Henry by himself even keep it close with the Bills? No.
And what you're going to have to do there is, you're going to have to run up the offense. Titans not a good defense. You're just going to have to force them to throw into the game because that's how you take Henry out of it, as you said.
Yep. Well, and we've seen they can't really throw the ball that much this year. So,
yep. Yeah, Tannehill looks more like the Miami quarterback of old now.
Yeah.
Sure. One thing to note, this line is currently off the board because we don't know if Daniel Jones is starting or not, or otherwise we're going to get Mike Glennon. So I've seen Rams -10. That could change. I'm telling you, whatever, I haven't played it, but whatever, a little just tip, whatever it is, if you feel comfortable, even if it's Daniel Jones, even if it's Mike Glennon, look what the Rams just did to the Seahawks. Rams, whatever the number, play that going into New York and winning.
100% for sure. Rams, I think, are up in the top 5.
Totally.
I think they're 3-2.
Or their only loss was. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Yeah, but either way, I think I have that top team as the Bills. Then, actually, I could tell you for sure here in just a moment.
Of course, I've got basically while you formulate yours. Yeah, I've got Bills, Bucks, Rams, Cardinals, and then I threw the Cowboys in there. I think the Cowboys round out my 5.
Yeah, so I've got the Bills, Cardinals, Bucks, Rams, and then the Chargers inside that top 5. So
Chargers are a good one. Yeah. The Rams' only loss came to the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Remember that crazy one. And they've got a win over Tampa Bay as well.
Yes. All right. So let's hop into some over-under, some totals here that you're pretty comfortable with.
Let's stay with Buffalo, Tennessee. Expect a lot of offense. The total went over in Kansas City on when they played their primetime game on Sunday. That was a high number. This is 54. It's even lower than what it was. Tennessee can't really stop anyone. Buffalo doesn't seem like anyone can stop them. Derrick Henry's going to find the end zone, as he always does. Divisional battle. I like it going over 54. There's going to be points.
100%. I think Buffalo will score at least in the 40s. And then you just got to hope Tennessee can score a couple touchdowns to get to that. So I think that's totally possible to go over there.
And then divisional battle too, Green Bay, Chicago. This game is very intriguing to me. It's a low total, 44.5. So you're basically, if you can get Rodgers to get his 4 touchdowns, and then you have maybe a decent performance from the Bears because they're going to play at home. I think maybe Justin Fields surprises people in front of the home crowd. They're coming off a big win against the Raiders. Again, how are we going to be able to view that game in hindsight for kind of analysis? But those are my 2 totals I like there. A couple of overs, so let's root for good games.
What was the Green Bay Chicago one there?
Sorry, 44.5, over 44.5.
Gotcha. Smashing the overs on both of those. I like it. I like it.
Yes.
We already kind of covered your underdog with Arizona being a dog
Yes.
this week. Do we have some parlays we could put together? Try to make some real money here betting this week.
Yeah, these are the ones you can always see where it's like, I think Bleacher Report kind of will post these where people just pick all the winners from the games. Teasers are something we could do in the future as well too. I'm trying to think of a good kind of money line parlay because you don't want to go too heavy favorites, but you can throw them in there. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of just looking through here. I don't have one prepared this week, but can I promise you one for the next week?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess you guys will have to tune in next week for that.
Yes.
So do we want to hop some prop bets or would we like to do some DFS?
Let's do DFS. I do have my lineup there for you.
Gotcha. You go ahead and start. I'll pull it up.
Perfect. Yeah, I just concocted this too, and I'm playing it through just the Sunday window.
Right.
But I'm going to start with a guy who I think is going to have a big game here against the Giants, and it's Matthew Stafford, getting him at a pretty cheap price, 6,700. This is a guy that's going to put up mid-20s. He's got weapons. Cooper Kupp, one of the top receivers. Woods coming alive. He could throw to Henderson. I like Stafford there as my quarterback.
Gotcha. What about a running back for you?
Got a pair of them. A guy that kind of showed out, and we had been waiting for him on Monday, and that was Jonathan Taylor. We're going to get him in the Sunday slate. He's going against Houston, so I think he's not only going to put up points, but also get those garbage time touches if it's going to be a blowout, which Vegas is expecting. And we'll get your thoughts about this. I'm kind of doing stock watch on. We've seen a running back injuries. We'll do my podcast here in just a bit, but how about Daryl Williams? We saw Damian show out for Chicago. Daryl Williams with Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the shelf. He is going to get the majority of the touches, I feel, in Kansas City, cheap at 4,900, and hoping he can have a big game.
For sure. He's actually somebody that's, because I just am terrible with running backs in fantasy, he's actually plugged into my starting lineup this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad play. You got to stream him.
I like him. He looked fairly decent last week. If you go clear back to the preseason, he looked good there, was making plays. So I think this is a good week for him as well. And he's, like I said, somebody I'm rolling out. So
yeah, and he knows the offense. He won a Super Bowl with them as like the third running back. But so those are my two running backs. Receivers, going with just a classic. T. Higgins is kind of sliding down DraftKings price board because Jamar Chase is eating up all the touchdowns, right? Tyler Boyd's starting to get more targets. They're looking at the tight end more. I still think T. Higgins, maybe he's been banged up. I'm going to play him on a cheap price here. Mentioned Taylor showed out for the Colts. Michael Pittman had a big coming out game too. So I'm plugging him in against Houston again. That's huge. And then I had this trade, kind of a blockbuster trade in one of my leagues. And I wasn't really targeting this guy, but he was part of it and came onto my roster. And he's quickly one of my favorite players. Hollywood Brown, huge game against the Colts. Hopefully I'm not going off this Colts Baltimore game too much, but that's how some of my lineups looking so far.
For sure. All right. So for me at quarterback, I'm going to roll out Joe Burrow. It's against Detroit, so it's just a great matchup. And this offense, at the very least, he's going to get a deep ball to Jamar Chase. Correct. Jamar's had a 30-yard touchdown or longer every single game except for, I think it was week 1. So, I mean, it's going to be great. Like you said, T. Higgins, he's going to be on the field again. Tyler Boyd is consistently getting the ball more. And then you have Joe Mixon that can still catch the ball. So this is just an offense, I think, this week that is going to have a lot of production regardless of who you grab. And Joe Burrow is kind of going to be at the head of that. At the running back position, this one's maybe not as popular of a pick for everybody else, but with Saquon out, we saw what Devontae Booker did last week. His projection this week is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 points, something like that. I really like it. He went in last week, got 2 touchdowns. If he goes in and gets maybe even just 1 touchdown and, gets involved in both the running and passing game, I like him this week. And then, a guy I've been waiting to do a lot this year, Deandre Swift. Saw him finally get in the end zone last week. Besides week 1, he's kind of been, where is he? He's dealt with some injuries and stuff like that. But, at 6,300, he's a decent price. So I don't mind going after him there.
Yeah.
Then at wide receiver, wide receivers getting tough nowadays. There's so many of them, and you want to kind of stick to budget so you can get more weapons on your team. But I'm going to go with Tim Patrick as one of them. Yes. Still no Jerry Jeudy. They're going in against the Raiders, and this is a game I have no confidence either way of who's going to win the game. Both teams coming off 2 straight losses. The only difference is the Raiders are going through all of this stuff with John Gruden. I just think that they're going to have a lot going on in their heads. The Raiders are. And Tim Patrick, he's slow and steady, and I think he gets into the end zone this week as well. So I like Tim Patrick there. Another guy, because he's been hurt, and I still don't know if he's going to be in, so this is somebody I might take out, but Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
If he's in, we've seen what he's doing, or what he did before he got hurt. The only problem is, how's that hamstring going to hold up? Hasn't been very long since he's been sitting. So he's a bit of a gamble, but if he does play the entire game, he's a smash play. But that's where I'm going with those. What's a flyer that you may take this week?
So I'm kind of going with an interesting approach for my tight end and flex, in that I've got a couple of tight ends. Travis Kelce, let's go. Let's do it. Chiefs bounce back game. See if he has a huge one against Washington. Mark Andrews, my goodness. This guy is announcing himself. I know he probably is haunting the nightmares of people that had to go against him fantasy on Monday and probably ended up losing. Target hog. Look for Mark Andrews if they're going to have a shootout against the Chargers to kind of fill up the stat sheet.
For sure. One that I'm taking, it's probably the dumbest play I've made for DFS, but we saw how Indy's offense did last week. We saw the week before this guy get really involved, and they play Houston this week. So I'm going with tight end Mo Alley Cox.
Yes.
It's he's 3,100, so it's definitely a big budget play so that I can get more out of other positions. But it's also, you can possibly bet on him getting maybe 5 targets and a touchdown this week, just because they're playing Houston. If Houston keeps up with them at all, which, I want to say Davis Mills, he's playing pretty well.
Looks better, against New England too.
He's a rookie backup on a terrible team, and it's not like he's played absolutely awful. He's going out there and making them competitive, you could say. But I think Mo Alley Cox he's got a chance to do something this week.
He was I was shocked to see it was almost like every big third down against the Ravens, as I'm hoping, praying for that comeback, and it eventually happened. But Mo Alley Cox would get loose on like a corner route for 20 yards. So certainly.
And who doesn't love Gigantor?
Yes.
Love the guy. All right. Any last thoughts here, Dylan, to give the people?
Yeah, let's keep the cash going. Strong 3-1. We've got some plays on the board here as we're playing some spreads, some underdogs, and a couple of totals. Feeling confident.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, folks, that is it for the Lucky Bets podcast this week. Hopefully you tuned in on Wednesday and Thursday. As on Wednesday, we covered all the games, and on Thursday was our fantasy show. This is how I think we're going to have it for now. We're going to have these 3 episodes, so make sure you tune in on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Fridays, you're going to catch me here with Dylan Corbett, and then you can catch Dylan Corbett, all of his shows, kind of just throughout the week.
Yep, just posting out daily content. The one kind of scheduling note is when you hop on with me, we like to do breaking down sort of the headlines. I think this week we're going to talk about both Daryl Williams, some running back plays, some receiver plays, as you said, as it's getting to be a lot of options for both. So you can always expect those on kind of Thursdays and Fridays right before the weekend. And of course, the huge NFL Sunday we look forward to each and every week.
Yes, sir. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Good luck this week. Go make some money.
Yes, sir.
Send some our way. Thank you.